definitely. All right. So let us start with our technicals actually. So we are starting with our technicals. You remember last week we had a few analyses that we actually touched on and said we are going to be looking at them this week. All right. So let us quickly jump into those opportunities. All right, let's start with these fundamental opportunities that are actually available this week. Let's start today. There was actually around 4, we had the home sales, and there was info business climates. So it's not actually hectic stuff. And then tomorrow about 4, we've got consumer confidence. That's another one that may actually make some moves in the dollar, currency, irrespective of which currency pair you have, as long as you have the dollar in place. And then that's it. And then Wednesday, things will start to be hectic. As you can see, Australian dollar with the CPI inflation report around 3:30 in the morning, according to South African time. So that's another report that you must check. Obviously, in cases like that, you can actually check in terms of what we call the market orders, because obviously around 3:30 you are asleep. Around 3:30, I think it's only 1 hour left for me before I can be able to actually wake up. So if you want to trade this one, I think you can utilize 1 or 2 orders. It can be buy limit or sell limit. It can be buy stop or buy or sell stop, one way or the other, depending in terms of how do you go about analyzing your opportunity that related to Australian dollar. All right, so probably tomorrow before you sleep, maybe you can work around the market orders. And then numbers 2 again on Wednesday, we have another beautiful one. That's another inflation report. That one is Canada. So that is around 2:30. That's another hectic one. And then at 8 on Wednesday, it's gonna be lightning, that one. Interest rate decision US, and there is a forms press conference around 8:30. So this one is gonna be one of those hectic days. Interest rate US is always very hectic. So sometimes if ever you are utilizing orders, they may also be able to help you in terms of what? In terms of putting an order or trading the live report. So that's one of the few things that you can actually be able to do. So that means on Wednesday we've got 3 of actually 3, because 8 and 8 I just group it together. We're gonna have a really hectic day on Wednesday, starting from 3 in the morning, another inflation report 2, and then 8 in the evening. That's gonna be another sparks that will be taking place right there. So I've told you how do you go about in terms of using the market orders. Sometimes they really work best when you come across this actually a report. And then again on Thursday, we've got another beautiful day. That will be the German unemployment change. That one is 5 to 10. That's another beautiful one that you need to actually check out in terms of the euro. And then we've also got European Central Bank, ECB, if you remember, all those central banks, 1:30. That one will actually be some form of, it's a publication, obviously, it's more like a report, a monetary meeting. So since we are actually not be tuning in terms of what is happening in the meeting, so that one can also be part of the market order trade. All right, so more especially the news that you cannot listen to, but you know that they have a strong impact in the market, so you can also utilize the orders. The most beautiful thing about the market orders is that sometimes the market, if ever it just goes opposite, sometimes your order will remain just an order that you will end up canceling. But sometimes if it moves towards your order, it can trigger your order, and then you can also make sure that your order has what we call take profit as well as a stop loss. Trailing stop is the most important one when you are using orders, so that as the market moves quickly, it can also be able to close your profits right there. So if you remember that, it's even very much better and interesting. That's one of the few things that I want you to remember and note all the time. And then around 2:30 on Thursday again, we've got another beautiful gross domestic product report. That one can also be part of your order, or after the results or during the results, you can also be able to trade the momentum right there. So that one 2:30 is another strong and a beautiful trade that you may check out. And then in terms of the home sales, not much of a volatility in terms of the home sales, but that's another trade you can also look for, as it is another opportunity. And then on Friday, 8 in the morning, we've got the German GDP, as well, followed by Euro, zone CPI, and then we are closing 2:30 by gross domestic product Canada. So that means we've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trades from Wednesday that are actually your opportunity. Remember, I always recommend that if ever you are not sure, because sometimes the reports can indicate a bullish direction according to the actual report, but the market can move the opposite direction. That is why I always encourage that for the reports, use the market orders. All right, you can use a buy stop or sell stop, buy limit or sell limit. That one, even if you are using just putting one order, it's still fine. All right, if ever is not activated, it's still fine. If it's activated and then you are able to also set up your trail stop to lock your profit, it's even very much better. Okay, so those are the few things that I need you to utilize as part of your strategic tools in terms of taking those opportunities. If you can do that, you will see a really strong difference happening in terms of your trading life. So those are the few things that I am actually encouraging you that you check out. So those are really crucial 9 opportunities that are available. I'm hoping that you won't be lazy, you will attend to them. And the most importantly, the market orders. And if ever you are not sure or you haven't practiced the market orders, please make sure that you go through the previous recordings that I've sent you, and then you can also be able to go through and revise through those recordings. That will be very much better. It's like we were discussing this last week. Some of you will remember, I even show you that the market order, sometimes they can be triggered, but even if ever it's triggered and it closed by a trailing stop, it's a smaller loss because the movement was actually following, the stop loss was actually following the movement of your the direction of your trade. So that's one of the few things that you always note. And in life, you do not have to say, I don't want to lose. No, there will always be losses in the market. The market is highly volatile. This is Forex. It's almost $5 trillion day in terms of circulation. But all you need to understand, you are trading against best traders in the world. All right, you are trading against the best. So the importance of always using your risk reward ratio is very much important. All right, all the time, make sure that if ever you are not prepared to put a stop loss and a take profit, just don't take a trade. All right, just don't take a trade. Or alternatively, you can simply park your finances right there until you are ready to always use stops and a take profit in place. Those that are continuing to duplicate trades, wow, that's still a financial suicide you are committing. Those that are still actually opening trades with a big lot size, that's still financial suicide you are committing. But those that are prepared to obey the rules of the market, then I'm telling you that you are going to win every time. All right, those smaller profits as they actually compound and snowball, they become bigger and better profit come the end of the month. But this is what we need to check technically. So technically last week, Friday, I remember we had some analysis because the market was not actually hectic as it was about to close. But these are a few in terms of technicals that we actually need to check out. If you remember very well. All right. So let's start with the USD Canada. Yeah, this is the USD Canada, and it's still ranging even today. All right, from the 21st on 1 hour time frame, from the 21st until today, it is still ranging in the box. So, and then now it's forming some form of three inside up, not convincingly, but either way, you can be able to zigzag those smaller nyana trades now and again, but the bigger opportunity is in a breakout or bounce if you check this out. So it's still ranging inside the box for the past 5 days, all right? So if it breaks and form a new candlestick below here, you know, team, that will present an opportunity to short the market, or breaks and form new candlestick above, that will be the opportunity to buy. And then our next target, or in terms of our next target, yes, will be around these levels. All right, let me erase this one and put a proper, let me put some proper support and resist. Yes, and then here you will have what we call your next resistance level. That's why you can also put your take profit if ever you like. Obviously, even your trailing stop will actually be following, through and through in terms of what? In terms of your break here. But either way, more especially if it was, you remember that according to chart patterns, as it was a downtrend, most of the time when it ranges within the box, it continues as a downtrend. But we cannot bank on that. That is why every time we have to wait for the market to tell us which direction it's gonna go. So that's one of the few things you need to understand. And then in terms of placing your stop loss, you can actually play in terms of like around these levels. Obviously, you are looking for recent bottoms. So around these levels, if ever you are putting a buy order, you can look at these levels. And then your buy stop, if you are looking at buying, can be around these levels. And yeah, that can be another opportunity right there. Or sell stop can also be around these levels. We are using the previous lows or the previous shadows or the tail. That's how what you use to measure the opportunities. And then we also look at USD JPY. Let's check out what happened here. Obviously, when it is it's Monday, all right, when it's Monday, the market is actually not so hectic. Remember, the best trading days is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right. So here in South Africa, you know, things are happening in terms of economy. Things are not on a good standpoint. So that is why now we are pushing you guys to maximize the opportunity proper in terms of trading these markets. All right. So if ever you approach this market with a zeal and a driven desire that I want to win and prosper in this market, I will follow the rules, then you are going to win. Come the next 6 months, come the next 3 months, you are going to be making it. All right. So every week, I'll be pushing you to at least make like 350 rand a day. You know, yesterday, the president announced this the grant of 350 a month to, I think, to unemployed or so. So I always tell people that if you believe in yourself enough in terms of learning and follow through the rules, you can make it that 350 a day. And then I will always be opening challenges every week that you people working with me, at least the minimum you make per week, per day, must be 350. Even though I want you to make 350 rand in terms of dollar to rands per trade. So 350 rand is $24. All right. So all I request from you is that per day, at least if you can clock $24, and then you will be very much close to my inner cycle. I will be very much prepared to work with you in terms of closer terms. Just $23 a day, I will be very much happy, because that will be more like 350 rand. All right. I want to show you that what government is actually helping other people at, because it is indeed helpful. All right. You can buy like a maize meal, you can buy some rice and some oil. That's still fine. All right. But I want you to at least the minimum you make per day must be 350 rand. That's more like $24 per day. That's not bad. All right. On my good day, you know, when I'm focusing on trading, I make 45,000 a day. All right. So that actually all I'm requesting from you is just a small piece of like a trade. Remember, I'm trading a quid here. You see, 400 quid on my account, 416 on my account. It's more like 22,000. All right. So that's what I am trading. Okay. So when I make like a 1,000 quid or 100, 200 quid, that's more like 10,000. When I make like 400, because I do not trade one account. I've got a quid, I've got the Omarian, I've got Bahirian that I am trading. All right, in terms of the account levels. I also do dollar, but I'm telling you, when I put all my the accounts that I have combined per day, on my good day, 45 I clock. All right, that's given. And now for the next 5 months, we are pushing even harder. We are pushing even harder to milk the market during the day and night. That's the opportunity. That is right there. The market never stops moving. But I'm not on that for now. Okay, I will come to your questions or your comments, and then we'll come to your comments or questions. This one is a USD JPY that we actually analyzed proper last week, Friday. All right. Obviously, it did break this uptrend, but now is ranging between what? Between the support and this resistance. Okay. It's ranging between this support and this resistance. So alternatively, we can also have another I'll start it from around here and then push it like this. All right. Or else I will join these bottoms. Yeah, still proper. All right. So this is what I have now. Remember the importance of always also joining the lines, using the lines proper. And then this, I can also move it further and then push it up a little bit, because this is a new resistance levels. So this is what we have today. So obviously it's Monday, and these are 1 hour time frame. There wasn't much of a movement if you are looking at what was actually happening today. The moves were very much smaller, but nevertheless, they were indeed positive. Even on 4 hour time frame, we are still on a good position and standpoint. So those are the few things that I actually need you to check as the day progress. So you can also check out and throw the same lines as I've done, and then monitor it. Once it breaks your resistance, or it breaks your uptrend support or downtrend resistance, then that will where the opportunity will be presented. So there wasn't much of the activity today, but please check it out, and then maybe during the week, as things are happening, we'll also invite you for just 30 minutes to have a small revision in terms of checking it out and see what actually transpired as a week progress. And then let's move to the next. The USD JP, that one broke our support level. That one was milk for today. Obviously, if you check this out, those that were with us Friday, they will remember now this level here. The reason why I'm putting the support line there, it's simply because if you check out this level, where is this? Let me put a cross here. Here was a previous support level. All right, so I can put it here or here, still irrelevant. That was the previous support level. If you are looking at this, this support was broken here. And then what we always say, when a new candlestick forms below the support level, that was a bear trade or the opportunity to short the market for next 3 hours. It was indeed an opportunity. And that is where you put your take profit. This level should be your profit take profit level. Why? Because it was what we called the previous support level. That is why when you knock, when it reaches here, it automatically close your profits. Okay, that's one of the few things you need to understand. And then you look for the next target. In case it breaks again this level, then the next level will be around here. Remember here we've got what? Remember here we've got this support level again at around 0.91200. All right, so the mileage from this level to this level would be really fantastic. So what you can also do now, all right, so if again I'm looking at this this whole chart, so if we've got something like this and then like this, a little bit of this and then like this, all right, so these levels I can call these levels some form of what? Some form of a trend line or neckline. I call this level a neckline or so, even though it's not a clear convincing head and shoulders, but there was some form of a move happening right there. All right, so nevertheless, this is indeed was an opportunity that I hope you were able to execute and take care of it. Okay, so one of the analyses has come out positively, of which is fantastic and very much interesting. Let's have a look at a 4-hour time frame. Yes, we are now on 4 hour, and a break that may happen from here down, it may actually open another opportunity to sell. All right, so that's one of the few things. Remember, Friday, it was quite evident that the dollar was weak. So Friday, it was Thursday and Friday, it was evident that the dollar was weak. And then it looks like today, more especially on USD CHF, that weakness continued. All right, so let's move to the next, the GBP USD. Same thing happened here on the GBP USD. What we call the resistance was actually broken today, and the market pulled up further nicely. And then now you can see that we have a one bearish candlestick that actually allows us to put some resistance level once more. So this was the second opportunity that came through. As you can see here, according to our analysis last week, the market actually closed playing within the box, but at these levels it was broken, and that was another buy opportunity. Obviously, it was not very much of a big move, but it is indeed a positive move that could have give you $24 in terms of this one trade. All right, so that's what we talk about when we actually say, at least if you can make 350 Rand a day, that is $23 a day. That's all we request. All right, that's all we request. All right, so if you understand, that's even very much better. And then let's also have a look at the 4-hour time frame. Let's have a look at 4-hour time frame and see in terms, yes, something happened, and if it continue to break this new level of resistance, and then that will be another buy opportunity, and then our next target will be 1.38990. That will be our next target. Okay, so basically the market always gives you clues. All right, so that's what all we look for. The market will always give you clues. The market will always tell you which direction it's gonna go. That's all. Then you take a ride. That's the most important thing. And then the next, we can also put our trend line like this, as we are actually joining this level to these levels to these levels to these levels. And then if it breaks and form a new candlestick just above here, then that's where it will also be presenting us with another opportunity. But our next target in terms of TP will be around these levels. And if it breaks these levels, and then we'll be having another opportunity. Remember, you don't have to put your take profit very far. Sorry about that. You don't have to put your take profit very far. It must be very, you must look at the previous targets in terms of resistance, in terms of support, in terms of trend lines and everything. You must also be aware of all those previous market resistance or previous levels that will help you determine the levels, because the market repeats one and the same thing. Where it faces support, sometimes it will come back and face resistance at those levels. So you must always be aware of those conditions. So in terms of like analyzing the market, we are actually putting all analysis into perspective. We are not only focusing on support and resistance or trend lines. We also check the chart patterns. We also check what we call the candlestick patterns as well. So we will touch on like Fibonacci retracement and everything. But for now, that's what I need you to work with. All right. So in terms of 1 hour time frame on GBP USD, and then the opportunity also avail itself. And I hope one or two of you were able to execute proper. All right, so I hope that is clear, and we are still together on that one. Let's come back to AUD USD Australian dollar, and then this one in terms of 1 hour time frame. Obviously, this was broken last week, and then it came back and played within the box. You can see that if you look from 14 July for 6 days, from 13 to 20 July, it was a nice downtrend. And then from 21 to 22, an uptrend right there. And then from 23 till today is still ranging. All right, it is still very much ranging. That means we need to observe and wait and see which other opportunity may come. At this level of opportunity, it looks like on this time frame, even though this is not a 3 black crowns, okay, it is not actually a 3 black crowns as yet. All right, so we can wait for the third candlestick to be fully formed before we can actually confirm. All right, but the support and resistance is helping you to understand if it's a trade that you can actually execute or not. Even if it's playing inside the box, you can also scalp those opportunities inside the box. And then in terms of 4 hour, 4 hours even more clear. 4 hours is straightforward. All right. In terms of if Australian dollar continues becoming stronger and break the resistance level at around 0.73830, then that will be another opportunity to buy right there. Maybe you can also look at a 1 day time frame, because we are still on a it's still Monday, so you can also utilize even 1 day time frame, even 1 week can also work. All right, so in terms of 1 week, look at, you remember last week when I was actually explaining different types of traders, if you remember very well, when I was explaining different types of traders, I also touch on like momentum traders, position traders. And if you look at this 1 week trade from 15 March 2020 till 21 February, almost a year. Actually, it was a year, 12 months uptrend. Just imagine that. Just imagine trading like a position trader, holding this as your whole investment. Wow, that's where the money is. The money is in the long term. If you understand that from 21 January for the whole year and above, it was more of a downtrend in terms of 1 week time frame. So if ever you are a person like me in terms of approaching the market, maybe with different accounts. Obviously, at first, I wasn't trading multiple accounts. I'm doing it because I'm well experienced. But for you, you can have 1 or 2, is still fine. But maybe you can scalp with one where you just do daily trades in and out. But the other one must be more like a position account where like you can hold your trades for longer. That can also be very much positive for you. All right. So because sometimes the only thing, sometimes people, they listen to the emotions of the market. All right, the market, in terms of moving up and down of the market. So sometimes if ever you are not well experienced, you can end up being up and down even emotionally, because that's how the emotions of the market behaves. But if you are looking at it like a longer term, you know very well what that in the long term, I'm going to win on this one. So I will approach it as an investment. You approach buying and holding shares for a longer term as an investment. Why not buying a currency and hold it as a longer term like you are doing it on investment? That's the same skill you need to apply if ever you are looking at like accumulating longer trades and so forth. Okay, so that's a few of the things that I actually need you to understand. Let's have a look at the NZT USD starting from 1 hour as well. And what we had here, so obviously nothing much as such. Let's check on okay, so I don't know what happened on this one, but last time it was 22. The last time I worked with this one, it was on the I think 22nd. All right, then I can push it. Okay. All right, and then obviously here, as you can see, what you need to understand is that the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar, most of the time they always correlate. That is why on the Australian dollar, you can see this formation of 3 candlesticks. They always behave the same. What most of the time, look at this, is a NZT USD. All right, 1 hour time frame. You see how it looks like. So you can also do the same support and resistance here. And then let's go back to AUD USD. Look how it looks. The same bullish candlesticks that are blue. And then now you've got these 3 bearish candlesticks. That's more like 3 black clouds or so. So the behavior is more the same. That is why you know that if ever maybe you have an opportunity on one, you can also do the next. All right. So that's how you need to understand in terms of correlation. And then the USD CHF and the USD JPY, they used to correlate, but not lately. Lately, the other one goes north, the other one goes south. Pound USD as well as Euro USD, They used to correlate, but lately pound is doing its own thing and the euro is doing its own thing. But it's very much important to always, that correlation will come back. It's very much important to always observe and understand what is happening. If you have any questions around this, and then you can bring about. I hope you are reading this, you are checking it out, you are also putting down on your analysis, because before the end of the week, we have to revisit what was happening, and then we have to see how we actually work out in terms of trading these opportunities. That's one of the few things that we need to do. Okay. And tomorrow until Thursday, I think I will be with the CFD guys. So that's one of the few things that I actually needed to remind those CFD tomorrow for next 3 days, this week, 6:30 to 7:30 will also be having sessions together with you. And then let's check out Euro CHF. The next Euro CHF on 1 hour, our support level was actually broken, and then the opportunity presented itself down in there. So that's where two candlesticks that way. The one that is cutting through the support, that one is not the one telling us to buy or sell, but a new candlestick formed below that triggers the opportunity. It may continue, because if you look at these previous levels here, that was our next level of what? Of this one. The reason why I'm putting this level of support is only because of these previous support level. All right, not because of it. Here the market can still continue. It's just that as where we stand, this can also, if it form a new candlestick below here, then that will actually allow me to execute a short position right there. So if you understand the elements around this, it's even very much better. All right, but if it starts to move back, then it will give us what we call the double bottoms again. So that will be another opportunity that may actually exist right there. So let's look at 4-hour time frame as well. Yes, as you can see, the 4-hour time frame is still ranging in between. All right, so only the 4-hour time frame gives us the bigger perspective in terms of Euro CHF, as you can see. But nicely here, you can see here, it was broken nicely. That was 30 June. It was broken nicely. And then from 30 June until like 12 June, 12 July, I mean, you can see a bearish movement that was happening nice. So that's what we're always waiting for. All right. Once you benefited from this uptrend, then you've got your uptrend, and if it breaks the uptrend support, form new candlestick below. Wow, that's your milk. That's your milk. Market going down nicely like this. Now it's ranging. When the market range like this, there are more probabilities that it may continue with the downtrend. But in this case, because it's what? It's a box, it may continue with the downtrend. We'll also be observing for the whole week. All right, the next that we can also check out, Euro GBP. Wow. All right, let's go back to 1 hour first. You know, all these things happening here. For instance, let's come back to this. This was the level of what? A resistance, and then here was the level of support. Broken nicely. The market was cruising down from the 21 to 22. The whole 2 days was really like bearish very nicely. All right. And then it plays within the box. And then now we're showing signs of continuing with what? With the downtrend, as you can see. But now these are two reversal candlesticks that may actually bounce here and retest these levels and continue with the downtrend. So this may happen here. And then let me show you, because sometimes we are not actually predicting the market, but we are actually, we may have this is a resistance that we have, and then we can see the market taking this level, because that's more like a bounce will take place right there. As the bounce happens, that may actually even open another bearish opportunity. All right, what tells us that there might be a bearish opportunity? It's simply because if you understand the chart patterns, you will understand that if the market was actually of a downtrend like this and bounce within the box, there are high probabilities that it can continue with the downtrend as it bounced within the box. If ever it was lines that maybe are joining higher highs and lower highs, and then that might be a bounce back up or a break. All right, but in this case, most of the time, all right, not that all the time, but most of the time. That's what you need to understand. That is why we are not just assuming and take a trade right now, but we will wait for the market to confirm the opportunity. I hope we are still together on that one. All right, and then the last one, let's check out the Euro JPY. In terms of Euro JPY, on 1 hour time frame, the resistance level that we had is now broken, and then you can see that the market is now pushing up, and that is another buy opportunity right there. Okay, that's another buy opportunity right there, because as you can see that these levels has been broken. And then if we check for another levels, if you check 14 July, this was a level of resistance. So let me put my resistance line so that you can be able to identify. Where do I take these levels from here? All right. So we can see that if ever it breaks these levels, because it's already almost there, if it breaks, then it will give me another opportunity to actually long the market right there. All right, another thing that we may actually do here, let me see. All right, no, I'm not putting an uptrend line, because sometimes once the trend line is more like very steep, it is very much less reliable. All right, it is very much less reliable. Okay, so if you understand that, it's even very much better. I'm trying to move this. All right, let me actually delete it, and then I can put it all afresh here, and use the new lows, and then I can also do this. You know, putting lines must be a funny thing to do for you. Okay, so this may be the next level of a resistance. This may be the next level of resistance right there. So if you understand that, it's even very much better. All right, and then let's see it on 4 hour. On 4 hour, it's even very interesting. On 4 hour, it's even very much interesting. Obviously, it's already broken it's already broken our resistance levels from this side. And then on 4 hour, our next clear target will be around here. So here we might have more mileage going up, as you can see. All right, more mileage going up, as you can actually observe right there. All right, I hope, good people, you are clear on that, and it's very much interesting. Okay, so at these levels, as much as it is moving like really slowly, but at these levels, you can look at maybe deploying your stop loss, your profit around the level of 131, And then obviously maybe your stop loss, if ever you are taking a buy, your stop loss around the level of 129,950. All right, but what I am going to do, I'll also have a closer look at this one. But for now, as I look, what is telling me, this is a clear buy opportunity. This is a clear buy opportunity. Resistance level broken on 4-hour time frame. Resistance level broken. The next target is 131. All right, 0.000. That will be my TP in terms of executing this opportunity. All right, so if I'm taking my new order, that means in terms of my stop, I can actually deploy my stop around 129,900. That is where I will actually deploy my stop loss, and because that was the previous level of support, I said 129 bunny. 930. Let me put 930 as my stop loss. And then in terms of TP on this 4-hour time frame is 131. Okay, that one is a 131. Let me put some 000 right there. All right, and then now I execute my buy without hesitation. So I do have my stop loss in place. My stop loss will actually kick me at as 5 quid, but my target is 9. All right, so let me put my stop loss at least at 4, as I'm targeting 9. Yes, that will be 4.4 loss, but my target is what? My target is at least 9 quid. 9 quid is 450 rand. That's what we are talking about, 450 rand. And then now I am deploying what? My trailing stop. Now I'm putting my trailing stop so that as it moves up, my trailing stop will also be trailing behind the movement of the bulls. All right, so how do I do that? On top of this 19 cent, I right click and then trailing stop. And then where do I put my trailing stop? Maybe I'll put it by 50 points. All right, so I've now employed my trailing stop that will actually follow and move whenever the market moves up. All right, so sometimes my trailing stop, as the candlestick continue up, my trailing stop can be here. All right, so that it can easily lock my profits. So this one I've already executed because of that opportunity that is I've identified on 4-hour time frame. Okay, that one on 4-hour time frame. Okay, so good people, I hope that was clear and straightforward, and I hope you understand or you've catch up to some little of information right there. So I hope you've written down some things, but your focus in terms of learning, practice support and resistance, practice throwing trend lines. Trend is your friend. Practice using what? Practice chart patterns. Practice looking for things like double tops, double bottoms, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, a rising wedge, a falling wedge, a rising flag and a falling flag, rectangles, that is support and resistance ranging. So those are the few things you need to understand. Even candlestick patterns is very much important to understand them, as they are actually interpreting and they're reminding you and telling you what is happening in the market in that particular moment. I hope we are together on that one, good people. There's enough money for everyone in this world. The only thing that short-circuit traders progress is the greediness and not following the rules, and being pressured by social media traders that pretend to be winning. They don't win so long because it's all fake. Understand? It's not easy like ABC, but with commitment and zeal and direction and a long-term perspective, you win when it comes to trading. All right? You win when it comes to trading. We've been into this close to a decade now, but it's working because the reason why now you do not have to fall and also face the similar problems or the similar losses we did when you started. That's why you paid us, so that we help you and advise you accordingly. All right. So if you do not take the advice, then there's nothing we can do with that. Other than that, thanks so much for joining us. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the week, and goodbye. The recording will follow shortly. All right. Those that are not able to access the recording, they can also check the same on YouTube, Sponsor Charlie TV, and make sure that you subscribe. But before I close, let me remind you that this coming Friday, as we will be actually wrapping up the what do you call this month? This month is called what? Oh, the questions. I almost forgot the questions. All right. Thank you for reminding me the questions. And yeah, thank you. All right. I almost I forgot the questions. And let me come back to this. Where are the questions? Okay. Can I use one live account for CFDs and Forex? Okay, it's up to you. Obviously, if you are doing CFDs and you are trading JSE shares, you've got a rand denominated account. And then there are also currencies. You can also do the same, but you won't be in dollars or any other currency. You'll be on the rand, of which is still fine. I think, Molodzi, I think I've learned the importance of putting a stop loss and take profit. I have also accepted that you win some and lose some in this business. That is true. And the most important thing when you are using all the strategic tools we've given you is that every time and all the time, your wins and your profit must always be bigger than your losses. The most important thing is to cut the losses and let the profit run. That's the most important thing. All right. It's like a business. Before you can make a profit, you spend money buying a stock. All right. Some of your stock will be looted. That is the cost of doing business. Some of your stock will expire before it's being sold. That is the cost of doing what? Business. All right. So that's what you need to understand. Things like that do happen. Even like you are owning an asset like a car, but sometimes you get a puncture. Okay. So now you need to replace it and buy a new one. That is the cost of doing what? Business. All right. So in terms of trading, know that your work is risk management, is to cut losses and manage the risk properly. That's all. All right, I will always try to put stop loss and take profit and then close the order. It says close with a loss in my term. Yeah, if you close an order that is still negative, if you manually close it and it's still on the negative, and then that means we are closing it as a loss. All right. And the question is why you are closing it as a loss when you have your stop loss and take profit. Okay. So sometimes you can analyze the trade properly and take the trade and forget to check the fundamentals. All right. There was a day where most of you blow your account, because the reason you blow your account, you don't use stop loss, obviously. Anyone who says, I blow my account, I know they don't use stop loss. So that's their problem. But there was a time there's a lady that shared a signal, a beautiful signal. It was 10 to 8. And then at 8 o'clock, in terms of fundamentals, there was an interest rate decision. That's one of the few things you need to understand. Sometimes technically, we analyze everything proper and take a trade. And on the other side, in terms of the news, there were most important news that actually create a volatility in the market, irrespective of what you've analyzed technically. That can actually mess up your trade. So things like that do happen. That is why it's very much important to always know what events are actually taking shape in a particular week. Okay, so not focusing on one direction and ignore the other. So that's one of the few things that you need to understand. But I'm happy that you are still encountering all these challenges using your demo, but you are getting there. Mr. Mjalo, what happens when it continues as a downward trend, but it is at the end of the chart price action? How do you determine you take a profit or your stop loss? All right, as it continues a downtrend, are you part of that trend? Because I always say trend is your friend. Never ever trade against the trend. If it's going down as a trend, okay, go with the trend. Don't find yourself going against the trend. It's simple. Okay, so how do you take your profit? Obviously, it depends on your target. All right, I've shown you how to measure where to put your stop and your profit, and you leave it like that. More especially the trailing stop is the most effective one. And then if ever it's towards the end of the price action, all right, actually the only thing that will help you determine where to take your profit is the previous levels. It can be the previous levels of support and resistance. It can be the previous levels of trend lines. Those lines that I actually encourage that you actually deploy are the ones that will actually help you and show you if ever in that previous level, as the market comes closer, is it facing some form of support or resistance? That can also help you to determine that now is time to take profit, or is the time to actually accept the loss. I hope you are answered, Mr. Molutsi. All right. My Just Forex broker is a good broker. Is it got rands as well? Actually, it's just a choice which currency you choose. There's no advantage. It's the same market, just that $1 is 14 rand 70. But if you make 1 rand, it's just 1 rand. The advantage with a foreign currency is that when you convert it back to your rands, it's bigger than the normal rands. But if you are trading the rands, what you close is what is your profit. All right. Unlike the target that I'm saying, target $23, of which is very much affordable and achievable daily. That is 350 rand. As we are targeting, why I'm saying 350 rand, I'm trying to show you that what government is actually helping people monthly is what you personally can help yourself with daily. Okay, so it's just a benchmark, nothing special about it. So it's something here, Mdugu, you can actually decide which one you like to use. You can use the ZAR, you can use the USD. It's just up to you. All right. So other than that, I hope I've answered most of your questions, and you are very much clear on that. Let me check if ever I'm forgetting something. All right, what I wanted to remind you is that this coming Friday, we will be having a discussion that we call, what is the name of this discussion that we will have Monday? Let me quickly check. All right. Yes, the discussion that we are going to have on Friday, not Monday, it's a millionaire hour. All right. So in terms of how to become a millionaire in your lifetime, whether investing or saving. So I'll be teaching you if ever you want to be a millionaire in the next 10 years. And then I will show you how much you should be saving in terms of looking at the present value to determine the future value, and then to look at the benchmark interest rate. So in terms of trading, and then I'll actually work with you in terms of financial mathematics, in terms of if you make this much, this is how you can, this is how it can took for you to become a millionaire. All right, I'll be showing you all those things. because at the end of the day, you must become millionaires, right? That is the most important thing. If you do not want to become a millionaire, I will actually show you on Friday how convincingly and possible it is to actually work it around. It's a long-term goal. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a long-term goal that must keep you focused and so forth. And then you can achieve it, simply like that. All right. Actually, most of you have been millionaires many a times. It's just that some of you are millionaires in debts. You remember that 700,000 car that you paid off in 5 years' time. All right. In record time, you were able to pay a 700,000 car. And then you tell me you cannot become a millionaire in 5 years. No, don't play good, people. All right, so that will be our discussion this coming Friday. Other than that, I hope I've answered all your questions. Thank you so much for joining. God bless you and enjoy the rest of the evening.